This is an analysis from Alpha Business Media. Okay, let's dive in. We are looking at a really fascinating high-stakes economic gamble happening right now in the Himalayas. It's Nepal's ambitious plan to completely transform its tea industry.
It is. And they're aiming for a massive goal, a $150 million export market by 2026.
Which is a huge leap.
It's a monumental leap. And what makes this so interesting and what you need to understand is the paradox at the heart of it all.
Go on.
Nepal's, sitting on this treasure trove.
Yeah.
In the highlands, places like Elam and Panchthar, the altitude, the microclimates, they produce tea with this truly exceptional aromatic quality.
But that quality hasn't translated into profit. For decades, they've done all the hard work, the cultivation, but someone else has been capturing the value.
Exactly. The brand premium, the profit, it's been going elsewhere. So this $150 million target for what's called Orthodox tea isn't just, business as usual growth.
It's a total pivot.
It's a full-scale economic pivot. They're targeting premium buyers in the EU, in the US. These are markets that value quality, they value the story, and they demand verifiable ethics.
Yeah.
And they'll pay for it.
So this is a huge structural shift. For our deep dive today, we're going to break down the 3 core obstacles they have to get over.
Right.
First, the economics of what we're calling the CTC trap. Then a huge strategic challenge, the branding paradox. And finally, a really practical hurdle, the certification bottleneck.
And if they miss any one of those pieces, the whole thing could just fall apart. It's a big bet on value, not volume.
Let's start there then, with the economics. What exactly is this CTC trap?
Okay, so CTC stands for crush, tear, and curl. It's an industrial process designed for pure efficiency.
Not for quality.
Not for nuance, no. It takes the leaf and turns it into these tiny, hard pellets. It's what goes into mass-market tea bags all over the world. The whole game's about one thing, maximizing yield. How many tons can you get per hectare?
And that's the trap, because in that game, Nepal becomes a classic price taker.
A classic price taker. They have zero power. Most of this CTC tea is sold in bulk, trucked right across the border to India.
So the price is set in Kolkata.
Exactly. It's dictated by massive auction houses and huge Indian blenders who just want cheap filler material. Nepal does the hard work, but they're anonymous. They can't set their own price.
Which creates a really vicious cycle. The margins must be razor thin.
We're talking cents per kilogram. So producers have no surplus capital. And with no capital, you can't reinvest.
You can't improve the soil, you can't upgrade equipment.
And critically, you can't fund the marketing and brand development you need to get noticed internationally. It also keeps wages low, which just further hurts the premium image they're trying to build.
So this pivot to Orthodox tea isn't just a choice, it sounds like an escape plan.
It's the only way out. And Orthodox is the complete opposite of CTC. It's artisanal. The leaves are gently rolled to keep them whole, which preserves all those complex, delicate flavors.
So the goal changes.
The entire economic goal shifts. You stop thinking about maximizing kilograms per hectare, and you start thinking about maximizing dollars per kilogram.
Let's put some numbers on that. What's the financial gap we're talking about?
Okay, so bulk CTC on the commodity market might get you $2, maybe $3 a kilogram.
And a high-quality Orthodox.
A good Orthodox first flush from a known Nepalese estate could be 30, 50. And for a really special micro lot going to a buyer in the West, it could be over $200 a kilogram.
$200? That's not even the same business. That's the difference between selling bulk coffee beans and a rare geisha varietal.
Exactly. And that's why it requires this huge entrepreneurial leap. Producers have to stop thinking like farmers, where tonnage is everything, and start thinking like vintners.
Like winemakers.
Yes. A vintner obsesses over terroir, the soil, the climate. They talk about tasting notes. They build a story around a specific, unique product. The tea is only half of it. The other half is the story and the quality you can prove.
That makes sense. But even if they master that mindset, we hit the second big problem you mentioned, the branding paradox.
Right. And this is a painful part of their history. For years, Nepal's best Orthodox teas, the really high-quality stuff, it was just quietly trucked over the border.
And sold as Darjeeling tea. I've heard this.
Yep. It was blended in and sold under Darjeeling's globally recognized name, their geographical indication, or GI.
So Nepal did the work, and India captured the brand premium.
That's the story.
Huh.
So the Nepalese government, logically, took the first step. They created their own trademark. Nepal tea, quality from the Himalayas.
That seems like the right move. Why is that a paradox? Why isn't that enough?
Because for the luxury market, it's strategically insufficient. A national brand is a good start, it's a legal defense, but it can't capture the highest prices.
How so?
Think about the connoisseur in Berlin or New York paying top dollar. They aren't just buying Nepal tea.
No, they're buying a specific estate, a specific harvest.
Precisely. They're buying Margaret's Hope's second flush from a particular estate. The value is in the specificity, not the generality. A generic national brand is actually a marketing trap if you're aiming for the high end.
Okay, so how do they solve that? It seems like they need the national brand for awareness, but the real money is in the specific estates.
And that's where the two-tiered solution comes in. It's modeled on the global wine industry. Think about how France does it with Bordeaux.
The AOC system.
Exactly. You need both tiers working at the same time. The Multi, GI, that's your macro brand. It's the foundation. It's a baseline guarantee that says this is authentic tea from the Nepalese Himalayas, and it meets a certain quality standard.
It's the seal of approval.
It's a seal of approval.
Yeah.
But the profit engine, the real money, comes from the micro brands.
The individual estate.
Yes, individual estates and cooperatives. Brands like Jonchiaburi, Garance Estate, their unique story, their altitude, their soil, their specific processing method, their terroir. That's what has to be marketed.
So the goal isn't just to promote Nepal tea, it's to make the name Jinchiabori as recognizable to a tea expert as, say, a famous single malt scotch is to a whiskey drinker.
That is the entire strategy. The micro brands have to become the heroes. If they succeed, the national brand gets stronger by association. If they fail, they're right back to selling in bulk.
Which brings us to the third challenge, and this one feels like it could stop the entire project in its tracks, the certification bottleneck.
This is the bureaucratic wall. To get into those high-value EU and US markets, it's not optional. It's a prerequisite.
And what do those markets demand?
Organic, fair trade certifications. These aren't a marketing plus anymore. They are the absolute cost of entry. If you're selling a $50 tea, your customer demands proof that it's ethically sourced and pesticide-free.
And that puts one organization right in the hot seat.
The National Tea and Coffee Development Board, or NTCDB, their efficiency, or lack thereof, in managing this certification process could be the single biggest factor in whether they hit that $150 million target.
And I'm guessing it's not a simple process.
It's a massive bottleneck. Getting those international certifications from Germany series or the USDA organic.
Right.
It's complex, it's incredibly expensive, and it takes a very long time.
What's involved?
Rigorous soil testing, multi-year transition periods to go fully organic, tons of documentation for traceability, and you have to pay for annual audits from these foreign bodies.
For a small cooperative in Nepal, that upfront cost must be crippling.
It can be prohibitive. And it's made worse if their own country's bureaucracy is slow. The consequence of that inertia is, well, it's economic death by delay.
What do you mean?
A 6-month delay in the NTCDB's domestic paperwork could make an estate miss an entire European buying season.
An entire year's revenue gone.
Gone. And it destroys your reputation with international buyers. They need reliability. It sends a message that you can't guarantee delivery.
So the NTCDB can't just be a regulator stamping form.
No, they have to become an active market enabler. They have to treat speed like a competitive weapon.
So what does that look like in practice? What do they need to do?
Our sources point to 3 critical interventions. First, create a certification accelerator program.
An accelerator.
Yeah. Pre-screen estates, help them with the paperwork, prepare them for the international audits, basically get them ready so they pass the first time, and fast.
That makes sense. And what about the money problem, the upfront cost?
That's the second intervention. They need to create a revolving fund, offer low-interest loans specifically to cover those initial certification costs. The producers can pay it back for the higher export prices they'll be getting.
De-risk the investment for them.
Exactly. And the third piece is more diplomatic. They need to aggressively pursue what are called mutual recognition agreements with the EU and the US.
So a Nepalese certification would be accepted over there?
Potentially, yes.
Oh.
If they can prove their own organic standard is just as robust, it could eliminate the need for a second, very expensive foreign audit. That's pure efficiency.
So the key takeaway here is pretty stark. The speed and efficiency of this one government board might be more important to hitting the target than the quality of the tea itself.
I think that's absolutely fair to say, because what good is supreme quality tea if it can't get to the market that's willing to pay for it?
Yeah.
From an economic view, it's worthless.
Okay, so we've covered the CTC trap, the branding paradox, and this certification bottleneck. Looking ahead to 2026, it's clear this isn't just a whim. It's a strategic necessity to get off that volatile commodity market.
And we could really see two very different paths forward from here.
Yeah.
There's the success scenario.
What does that look like?
The two-tiered branding works. You see, say, 15 or 20 boutique estates become recognized micro-brands with direct buyers overseas. The NTCDB becomes that nimble facilitator we talked about. If that happens, $150 million is achievable. It might even be conservative.
And the other path, the stagnation scenario.
That's the path of least resistance, the gravitational pull of the status quo. In that reality, they just keep promoting a generic Nepal tea brand that fails to get a premium.
The best teas still get sold in bulk.
Yep, sold to foreign blenders who capture the margin, and the NTCDB stays slow and bureaucratic. The bottleneck strangles any potential. In that world, 150 million is just a pipe dream.
So the hard truth really isn't about competition from Darjeeling. It's not about the soil.
No, the greatest obstacle is Nepal's own institutional inertia. It's a commodity mindset that's proving very hard to change.
The shift they need to make it's really psychological.
It's a profound leap. You're moving from selling an agricultural product by the ton to marketing a luxury good by the gram. And that requires a fundamental change in thinking at every single level, from the farmer in the field to the policymaker in the capital.
And that's really the question for them, and maybe for any business listening.
It is. The ultimate question is simple. What business are you really in? Volume or value?